What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, welcome to the vlogs. I hope everybody's having a great week. Today is going to be extremely short, but I wanted to get something out there just to keep the ball rolling because Hailey's just not feeling well. She's having a bit of a stomach problem. I don't know if it's a stomach bug, but she's getting nauseous when she's walking up and moving around. So I'm going over there just to check on her, make sure she's all right. So we're not really doing anything today besides hanging out at the house. Probably gonna play video games, watch a couple movies maybe, eat dinner, and just chill out. Yesterday, it was her and her brother's graduation party, and it was honestly a blast. I did want to film it, however, I prefer to just be in the moment in that case, especially since it's their family and their event. It wasn't mine. But it was extremely fun. We all cooked. We had tacos and nachos. We rented this little pavilion place out in the countryside. It had a baseball field. We had cupcakes, cookies. Her family showed up. It was just a very, very fun time. The one thing I do wish I got on camera, though, is eventually we started playing a family kickball game, and the adults got out there. And it went about as much as you'd expect for an older person to start running around with kids. There was a lot of people falling down, a lot of people falling over. It was a blast. I do wish I got some of that on camera, but honestly, being in the moment, it was just pure joy just to sit there, everybody laughing, having a good time. Nobody got hurt, thankfully, but there were a couple wipeouts. Look, you feeling better?
A little bit.
A little bit?
I'm eating.
I see you're eating some chicken noodle soup. Is it good?
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I don't want to go eat something like chicken supremes.
Don't be jealous.
No, I'm not, because I get those all the time.
Again, I know it's going to be extremely short today, but I just had this idea in the car and I wanted to come home and just sit down and talk to you one-on-one. I got the inspiration with this from watching the movie Avatar, where Jake Sully's character is instructed to just kind of sit down and talk to a camera about his life as a Navi. I think that's what they're called. I kind of forget their name, but the blue people, essentially. To kind of follow on theme with my girlfriend and her brother graduating high school and college, I just want to give my perspective to that generation coming through, that graduating class coming through. I am 24. I graduated in 2022, and I've been through it, and I'm still a young adult. I don't have all the answers, but I figured I could share what I've been through and the kind of road and the pathway that I took, and it might help some of y'all out. So just for some starters and basic information, I went to a very small D2 school here in South Carolina for 2 years. I was there in person. I helped out with the collegiate soccer program with managing them. My sophomore year of college is when the pandemic, that's when that broke out, going into spring break of March. So we all left for a week off in March for spring break as normal, and then we never came back for that rest of the semester. But I got stuck there because I was a resident assistant, so I was on campus essentially with very few people. After my first 2 years, I switched to being an online learner, so I went back home and then started finishing my degree out online with the same school. So I have both experience of being there in person, living by yourself, and having to survive that, make new friends, being in different places out of your own personal bubble, but then also going back home and then trying to learn online. The reason I went back to home and then continued to finish the degree out online is I kind of just felt lost being at college. I did not know exactly what I was doing there. The pandemic did happen, so that definitely didn't help. My grades took a nosedive. I was able to pull them back up a little bit and then finish out pretty okay, but I was essentially lost. My first 2 years, it was all right. It was hit or miss. I just wasn't feeling like I was fitting in anywhere. I wasn't enjoying it as much as I think I should have, or I expected to, because everybody kind of wanted me to go to that, or go, not necessarily that college, but go to college because that was their dream. I just didn't feel like I fit in there. So what I did after the first 2 years is I asked to come home. and pursue what I did in my spare time was I pursued boxing. So I am a boxing coach now. I do box occasionally. I am more focused on the coaching aspect of it. But those first 2 years after I came home from college, I was fighting, practicing year round, put the degree not necessarily on the back burner. I did finish it okay, but I was able to isolate the experience. I wasn't stuck in college having to focus on that. I was able to do something that I felt like I had control of and doing what I wanted to do while also knocking out that on the side. What I really want to get at here is the graduating class, specifically high schoolers going into college, or if you're already in college, please understand that this is a time for you to experiment. Do not feel like you have to get all the answers correct. I'm not just talking about your test and homework. I mean your questions to life. And don't nail down a specific career path just because it looks good or it makes money. This is the time to experiment. Find out what your passions are. For me, I left college and pursued boxing. That's opened numerous doorways. No, I am not a professional boxer. No, I have not made a crap load of money. But it has opened so many doorways that I found more fulfilling than staying at college and potentially, sitting behind the desk and figuring out wherever that path took. I went my own way. I still finished the college on my own terms, but I have found a more fulfilling way to do that. Please start experimenting. Don't feel like you had to have every single answer. You are very, very young. You're not even, some of you aren't even 20 years old yet. You have a long time to figure out what it is, how to make money, and figure out your securities. Right now, you need to experience stuff. Get out there, find out some passions. If little things interest you, dive into them, explore. You don't have to sit here and make a killing off of every little thing. Nitpick. Arts and crafts, baking, sports, not just collegiate sports. There are other sports out there that aren't necessarily inside the NCAA or NAIA or whatever collegiate sports there are. Just try stuff. That's really what I want to get at. Try to relieve that burden off of your shoulders where you feel like you have to go to this college, you have to make good grades, you have to get that job, you have to make that money, you have to marry that girl or guy, you have to have that many kids, your parents have to feel this way about you. Take that pressure off of you. You're so young. Now is the time to explore little passions here and there, find hobbies, figure out what it is that you want to do. Not what you're being told to do, not what makes the most money, what you want to do. What would get you out of bed and excited to get out of bed? Because I've been there. You wake up in college, you're just another day. You got classes to get to, same boring lunch to go eat at the cafeteria, rinse and repeat. Play video games, go out to a party, rinse and repeat. Find something you like and you're going to be excited to go to bed early so you can wake up and get started on it again. Please take your time and explore in your young, early ages. Probably rambled a lot more and repeated things I shouldn't have and I could have just said at one time, but I just wanted to take the time now to just sit down and talk to you guys out there. Remember to keep on chugging, and I'll see y'all next week.